New tonight, as severe weather season approaches, a growing concern is emerging for Central Ohio residents. With the region's population boom, more people are at risk from potential tornadoes. And after last year's record-breaking tornado season, it has some people worried. Those tornadoes highlight the critical need for improved detection.
Tonight, 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens is investigating how these deadly storms are tracked and why some of them slip through the cracks of the radar.
As our region grows, more people could be impacted by severe weather. And in Central Ohio, that includes the potential for tornadoes. Last year, Ohio saw a record-breaking number of tornadoes at 74, and 11 of those touched down without warning, including the one in Frazeysburg. We wanted to find out more about how these storms get detected and how some could be missed.
A lot of damage.
Trees through the window.
Emotional and everything.
One of the walls in the upstairs bedroom, the walls kind of gone. It was very scary.
It's the night of June 5th, and a line of strong thunderstorms is sweeping across Central Ohio.
And that would go along with the reports that we got when this warning came out that there was a spotted tornado working its way through the region.
National Weather Service meteorologists were also watching the storm.
Like with anytime there's a threat for severe weather, we have multiple eyes on the radar across Central Ohio.
Tornado warnings had been issued earlier that night, but not for the storm that hit Frazeysburg. It touched down around 12:37 in the morning. It was on the ground for around 4 minutes, plenty of time to carve a path through town.
We heard the electric went out, and the next thing we know, we just heard flying glass.
Frazeysburg lies in what we call a radar hole. These happen when radar towers are placed too far away from each other, causing gaps in coverage that can impact our ability to see what's happening in a storm. The way radar works is by sending out pulses of energy. That energy bounces off objects in its path and returns to the dish. Based on how that energy returns, we can actually figure out things like speed, direction, or type of weather that's happening. If a radar beam shoots too high due to distances or curvature of the earth, that information becomes less reliable.
Keep in mind that tornadoes happen, within 1,000 feet of the ground. So we see mid-level rotation with storms like that. But again, we really need boots in the ground to kind of see what's going on.
In Frazeysburg, the main NWS radar beam is well above 1,000 feet coming from Pittsburgh and Cleveland, and they aren't the only part of the state dealing with this issue. Ohio has 2 major radar towers and 3 others outside the state. These are assisted by smaller radars. While the main NWS radars can show up storms up to 150 miles away, they are most reliable 50 to 60 miles from the tower. That means dozens of counties and millions of Ohioans live in areas with less reliable radar coverage. And they're the areas where most of the unwarned tornadoes landed last year.
Where they are now, the National Weather Service ADADs were determined to kind of coverage gaps as best they could in the 80s.
When the radar network was laid out roughly 4 decades ago, it was done so based on serving the areas with the highest populations, like Cleveland in Cuyahoga County and Cincinnati in Hamilton County. An issue now, Columbus and Franklin County outranks them both.
Were you guys kind of caught off guard?
Yes, because they had lifted the tornado warning. So, don't think this will happen, but it does.
As our region booms, more and more people find themselves caught in the gaps, but change could be slow to come. The major radar sites expected to remain where they are until our next generation of radars is developed sometime in the 2030s and the 40s. So it remains important. Take the threat for severe weather seriously, even if it doesn't always come with a warning. For 10 TV News, I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens.